All right, here we go. Um, so this is professional sports team analysis of the Boston Celtics. I'm Shane Murphy.
I'm Maxwell Shuring.
And I'm Michaela Shendock.
All right, so first I'm going to talk about the origins of the Celtics. The Celtics were founded on June 6, 1946. They're part of the Basketball Association of America, and they later joined the NBA in 1949. Walter A. Brown was a big part of that, as he was part of the Boston Garden Arena Corporation, and he wanted a basketball team that resembled the Boston culture in the Boston area, which was predominantly Irish at the time. Red Auerbach is another key piece to this organization, as he was the first coach of the Celtics, in which he later became the general manager. The Celtics got their name from the New York Celtics, which they were a team back in 1930 and or 1913, sorry, all the way from 1936. The Celtics are known for drafting the first NBA player, Chuck Cooper. Um, when the team first started, they had some struggles, losing in their first four seasons, but when they acquired Bill Russell in 1957, they ended up winning 11 consecutive championships between 1957 and 1969. So for the ownership and the champions of the Celtics, the ownership started with the Brown family and passed through the Brown family until 1978. Um, the Celtics had a few owners in between them and Wycliffe Grousbeck, who purchased the team in 2002, but he's been the majority owner ever since. Boston Basketball Partners is made up of four partners with Wycliffe and Irving Grousbeck, Stephen Peculia, and the Abbey Group. Um, Recently, on the news, there have been rumors going around that there's been family issues. So they're looking to sell the team either later this year or next year. But regardless, the Celtics have been contenders for the championship for the past decade now. They won this past summer. They also won in 2008 with the big three, Kevin G, Rajay Rondo, and Paul Pierce. Another player everyone knows from the Celtics is Larry Bird, who won with the team in 81, 84, and 86. They have a total of 18 championships, which is the most in the league. For the coaches, Bill Russell turned coach, and he also won two titles. Bill Fitch is another coach that they had that's considered a top 10 coach of all time. And another coach, Casey Jones, led the team to a 67-15 record in the 85 season. So for the Celtics, their biggest rival is considered the Lakers. They've been the rival ever since the start of their organization and our organization. Um, it's the classic, just on and off dynasties in East versus West Coast. Fans of the Celtics consider the Lakers public enemy number one, and people always fill the seats for these games because throughout history, you have games where Bird is going against Johnson or Garnett's going against Bryant, and now today we have Tatum versus James. The Celtics are huge about giving back to the community. They started the Shamrock Foundation to help families and children in need. This just this year, they've had over 200 events across the nation and raised over, or they had $3 million invested into the community in New England. 500 elementary and middle schools are now more involved with fitness, mental health, and nutrition plans, aided by the Celtics. There's been dozens of renovations to educational fitnesses and recreational rooms around New England. The pretty cool stat here is that 850 homeless kids celebrated the holidays with full rosters of the Celtics, and they've been doing this ever since 2009. Over the past 26 seasons, 1,000 plus members of the military have been recognized at Boston Celtics games. And you can also, through raffles, fans will have chances to win memorabilia from the players, meet meet them behind the scenes, and even get a chance to ride the famous duck boats when they end up winning a championship. Like I said before, some notable Celtics players are Bill Russell. He sadly passed away in 2022, but he won 11 rings with the Celtics. And he's also known as the first African American coach to win an NBA championship. Larry Bird is one of the most lethal shooters and the biggest trash talkers. When he won those three championships, two of them, he was the Finals MVP. Bird was also selected 12 times for the All-Star game. Bill Cowsey won MVP during the 56-57 season, was nicknamed the Houdini of the hardwood. I picked him to talk about because I thought that was a pretty cool nickname. Kevin Garnett was a dog and was a key piece to the Celtics winning the championship in '08. And the famous quote, "Anything is possible," is by him. Um, Jason Tatum is the guy that the Celtics have now. He's building a legacy of his own, coming into the NBA at 19 years old, and now having the most three-pointers made in Celtics history in the playoffs, five straight All-Star appearances and a championship in 2004 or 2024, and Olympic gold medalist. Or he's also an Olympic gold medalist in Paris. For the Celtics, there are 20 players that have their jerseys hanging in the rafters, and they also retired the numbers one and two for Walter Brown and Red Auerbach. So for the brand in Boston in 1946, the logo started out as a simple design with the work Celtics outlines in orange and had a green backdrop. That quickly changed to the leprechaun with the classic hat and pipe. And then in 1960, they had the similar logo with the orange backdrop. In 1968, you can see that they changed the leprechaun and they also had the red background with the full Boston Celtics spelt out. And they pretty much kept that logo but got rid of the red and was a classic just green and white. And then today, they put in a little more detail into the leprechaun and then a little green backdrop with the Boston Celtics. And they also colored in the ball as well. So the Celtics have played one international game, and that was back in 2015 when they went to Mexico City and played the Sacramento Kings, in which they won the game 114 to 97. It was the only third game in the NBA to go to Mexico. Um, but across the world, the Celtics have fans all over the place, and that just comes with being the most dominant team in league history. Players and fans from Spain, Greece, and France all love to follow the Celtics and have been a dominant, and as the Celtics have been dominant for years. There's also a professional soccer team in Scotland that is called Celtic FC, which also gives resemblance to the Celtics. The social media team is now growing their audience like never before as they are consistently finding new ways to promote the team. Um, the Celtics are big about adapting to new technology. Celtics are utilizing the use of AI to post highlights of games. They're using this new technology called AV Gen, which captures and cuts videos in real time. So instead of hiring a social media content creator, they're now using AI, and then during games, they can create clips and post them in real time. So instead of one person doing that and only finding 5 to 10 clips, the AIs will be able to cut thousands of more and post them right away. Um, like I said, the creative content using visual appealing videos to capture the best parts about the game and players. They also do day in the lives, interactive posts on social media platforms and real-time updates. Um, how the understand search engine. Um, I'll just keep going with setting a standard. Well, the Celtics are setting a standard for this new age of technology. For the future of the Celtics, like I said before, the Boston basketball partners are planning on selling majority of the team in late 2024 or early 2025. There are rumors going around that they might build their own arena for the Celtics, but they also just signed a 12-year lease with TD Garden, so I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. As I said before, the team is a dominant force and will continue to be for some time. Currently, they're um, second in the Eastern Conference with a record of 15-3. Their starting five players are Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, White, and Holiday. Most Celtics fans and fans around the NBA have a strong feeling that this team could go back to back.
Now we're going to be getting into the stadium. And on September 30th, 1995, TD Garden in Boston opened up their doors. The purpose of this arena was to replace the historic Boston Garden, which was actually right next door to TD Garden, that the Celtics played in prior to this location. While being built, Earl Beckett, who Eller B. Beckett, sorry, who led the design, was trying to achieve a building that still reflected Boston's historical context while applying the modern needs of sports events. So TD Garden is located in the heart of downtown Boston, and it sits right above North Station, which is a hub for subway, commuter rail, and Amtrak services. And this venue is very accessible for fans coming from different parts of the city, as well as kind of all over the state, by having it right next to the garden. There are also parking garages in the station as well for people who want to drive. So getting into the arena's seating, the capacity for basketball games is approximately 19,600 people it can fit, and it offers 5 VIP seating sections as well as 2 standard seating levels. And so to start out with club seats, they provide a area of comfort by featuring extra wide cushion seats, private access, and personalized in-seat services. If you sit courtside, then you'll feel like you are in on the action. You will be sitting inches away from the action, making the game an experience to remember. And there's lofts and rafters, and the rafters offer an elevated view and experience, while lofts offer high quality amenities and different perspectives of the venue. The sports deck is where you go if you want to be social, enjoy beverages and some food while watching your favorite team. It offers a social experience with an open layout to grab food and drinks while still watching the Celtics live. There's the balcony and upper levels, and if you are looking for a fun atmosphere, but the location doesn't really matter on how close you are to the court, then that will give you a bird's eye view while still enjoying the fan experience. And then there's the Loge, which offers seating close to the action with great views for not being courtside. So, TD Garden added new amenities to their arena this fall. They opened a provisions market, which will offer an upscale market with AI powered checkout for beverages, snacks, and any meals you want to grab on the go. They also opened a shop society, which offers retail that includes premium brands, exclusive collaborations, and pop-up events, but that is for members only. Restrooms are located on every level of the arena, and they are spread out to make them easily accessible. And there are also concessions on each level to offer food and beverage options throughout the arena. And then they also offer premium seating, which involves luxury suites for groups events or corporate functions, and club seats, which offer personalized in-seat services and private club access. So to get into the technology aspect of what they have to enhance the fan experience is they offer a high definition scoreboard, which is actually hung in the center of the arena. They have mobile innovations like mobile ticketing and payment options, and they have fast and reliable Wi-Fi upgrades which have been made to the arena. These advancements enhance the fan experience by adding a level of convenience for the fans. The high definition scoreboards help to show what is happening at all times, especially for fans that are higher up in the seating sections. Mobile ticketing and payment enhances the experience by offering a fast way to receive tickets and pay for any merchandise or food or beverages. And lastly, by offering fast and reliable Wi Fi, the fans are allowed to share their game experience on social media, as well as watching content through the TD Garden app, which also allows the fans to navigate the venue without any interruptions. The historical significance. TD Garden has hosted many top national and global sporting events. Some are including the NCAA events, Olympic gymnastics trials, um, and US and World Figure Skating Championships. A historical moment for the Celtics happened this year in the NBA championship by securing their 18th banner after 16 years since their last championship win. Um, it was absolutely crazy in Massachusetts, and TD Garden has contributed to the team's legacy by now, to get into the historical significance, TD Garden has hosted many top national and global sporting events, some including the NCAA events, Olympic gymnastic trials, and US and World Figure Skating Championships. A historical moment for the Celtics happened this year in the NBA championship by securing their 18th banner after 16 years since their last championship win. TD Garden has contributed to the team's legacy by hanging championship banners, old player jerseys, and being able to host all home games. It has also contributed to the city's sports history by giving the city a name for sports thanks to the Celtics and the Bruins. These teams had boosted a name for Boston, helping the city's local businesses, and overall, it is a huge economic contributor. Ooh. TD Garden not only hosts games for the Celtics and the Bruins, but it is designed to hold conventions, wrestling events, concerts, and even a place for gymnastics and figure skating. Since the max capacity for the garden is 19,600, they even for different events, the high definition scoreboard turns into a screen to watch the events. During the design process, architects prioritized a flexible floor plan so the arena could adapt to various events. It was important that the fan experience would be amazing no matter the event or the performance, and the changeover process typically includes removal of the previous setup, cleaning the floor, and prepping for the new event, installation of the new event's infrastructure, and testing all equipment and systems to ensure that everything is working. For the security and safety measures, um, TD Garden has metal detectors and bag checks at all entrances, security cameras throughout the venue, as well as trained security and emergency response and a emergency response protocol. Emergency exit signs are put in place, and they also make sure that there are people directing at all entrances to help prevent crowd flow. To ensure a secure environment, Massachusetts Convention Center Authority held training for an active shooting and bomb threat. It is important that these security measures and practices are held in case of an emergency within the stadium. Staff members are also trained in case any emergency so they would know how to react. There is also a communication system set to pass any important information to the staff. For transportation and parking, one of the big things that I mentioned before is that TD Garden is placed right next to the North Station, which makes getting to the arena by public transportation fairly easy. From North Station, fans from all over Mass can reach the arena by train or subway, and this not only makes it easier for the fans who are not close to the city, or it makes it easier for the fans who are not close to the city and still want to enjoy a Celtics game, but it reduces traffic in the city as well. People can still drive to the garden as parking is available near it as well, or they can take the bus. And the garden has partnered with Spot Hero Parking to give fans who drive an easier way to find parking and also pay for it right from their phone. So when game tickets are purchased, you can pre-purchase a parking to secure a parking spot in advance. And there are also people who direct parking spaces to ensure a fast and easy parking experience. There are alternatives to driving, such as buses, the train, or the subway, though, if you did not feel like driving. And for feedback and improvements, in 2019, TD Garden increased the number of seats in the arena, but with that, discomfort rose. Many people were very upset at the level of discomfort while attending the games, where the fan experience should be outstanding. It was even stated in the statement from the Garden to get used to it. Throughout feedback, the Garden finally responded back that they will re-engage their industry seating experts to evaluate and provide assessment. After the feedback, new, more comfortable seats were put into the arena to satisfy the fan needs. After the feedback given on the discomfort of the new seats, management did respond fast, and the feedback was given in the preseason of 2019 and a little after the beginning of 2020. New seats were put in.
So I'll be covering some of the main sponsorships and partnerships that the Boston Celtics have with companies across industry. Over their decades of existence, they have accrued many sponsorships from a variety of these industries. In 2024, the official list of partners was tallied to 54 companies. These include 101 Grill, Experience Abu Dhabi, Amica, Amtrak, 98.5, The Sports Hub, Bentley University, Bona, Boston Scientific, Brex, Bushmills, C4 Performance Energy, Xfinity, Corona, Dell Technologies, Dick's Sporting Goods, DraftKings, Dunkin' Donuts, East Coast Metal Roofing, Encore, FHC, Fanatics, Franklin Templeton, Frito-Lay's, Gatorade, Gulf, Local 103 IBEW, Jack Daniels, Jack Abbey, Jason Stone Law, JetBlue, Kyocera, Link Squares, McDonald's, Meat Boston, Miller Lite, Moderna, Sports Boston, New Balance, New England Baptist Hospital, ReliaQuest, Shields Health, Showcase Cinemas, Sunfolk University, Sun Life, TD Bank, Teddy, Thrive, Ticketmaster, Vistaprint, and Zenni Eyewear. The sponsorship duration and contracts, they do vary by the company and whatever their deal is in place, but it is generally measured in a year-by-year metric. Smaller businesses like Jack's Abbey Craft signed a 4-year deal with the team to vendor alcohol at games. Bigger companies like Amica signed a 10-year, $9 million deal with the Celtics in 2024 to provide the team jerseys for the following decade. The longest and most impactful sponsorship with the Boston Celtics and Boston sports in general is TD Bank, a financial institution whose naming rights to both the teams of the Boston Celtics and the Bruins and their arenas. In 2023, the company renewed their licensing with the team, committing to a 20-year extension to be sponsored at both arenas until 2045. The financial impact of these sponsorships, a little bit about that. The Boston Celtics, as of 2024, were estimated to having a value of $6 billion United States dollars, on which 779 million of that was attributed to just the value the sports sponsorships were poured into the team. Major sponsors are highlighted into investing the most in the team, including Arbella, Comcast, DraftKings, Dunkin', Fanatics, Gatorade, JetBlue, NBC, New Balance, Putnam, TD Bank, and Vistaprint. With such level of investment from sponsors, it has allowed the Boston Celtics front office to invest more heavily in its operations, facilities, and player contracts and acquisitions than most other teams that play in smaller market cities around the NBA. As far as player endorsements go, I just highlighted the most iconic players on the team. Jason Tatum, who is arguably the best young superstar in the league as of right now. He's a power forward, and he has generated an estimation of $13 million over his career from brand deals. He's endorsed by NBA 2K, Subway, Gatorade, and Jordan launching his first shoe in 2023. Jaylen Brown, he won Finals MVP this last season. He's a starting small forward on the team. And he turned out an estimated $50 million in endorsements from various sneaker companies in the hopes of launching his own independent brand, 741. Brown is, however, endorsed currently by Beats by Dre and Pepsi. Al Horford is a veteran starting center, and he's accrued 5 All-Star selections in his entire career and over a dozen endorsements over that same time. He's endorsed by the brands of Panini, Dunkin', Blanco Popular, Intel, Nike, and Unilever. Derek White is a little bit more obscure on the team, but he's a point guard, and he's actually been endorsed by some of the local Boston brands, including Samuel Adams and Culture Pop, both Boston-based drinking companies. And he was in commercials for these ads during their 2023 playoff run. And finally, Drew Holiday. He's a 34 elite defender in this league. He was a 2021 champion with the Milwaukee Bucks, and he has accumulated his fair share of brand endorsements over his long career as well, being both Nike, Thorne, Tonal, Pandora, Amp Human, Just Egg, S Matter, Ripple Foods, Motorola, Popeyes, St. New York, and RevTown. The brand diversity brought by the endorsements of this starting 5 lineup alone completely changes the level of brand exposure the Boston Celtics have in their marketplace, being almost everywhere and touching almost every industry with their recognizable faces that draw more fans into purchasing from the associated brands. Alignment with brand values, the Boston Celtics and the NBA collectively are guided by the same exact mission, which is to inspire and connect people everywhere through the power of basketball. This has been reflected through the amount of sponsors that the franchise is connected to. Despite the range of industries each company is in, this diversification represents exactly what the NBA is striving for, which is to connect people everywhere. While there is no notable contradictions between the NBA and any of its sponsors generally, there are recent concerns over sponsor brands being printed onto team jerseys, such as the Nike symbol on the jersey you see above. If the NBA allows this to happen, it may turn away some fans who believe the NBA is already too corporatized as it is, or it may cause rival companies who see that branding to pull their endorsements entirely. Marketing and activation. The Boston Celtics promote their various sponsors in a multitude of facets. This includes the sponsors page on their website. On player jerseys, you can see sponsorships. On court decals, on the electronic displays, on various screens around the arena, on both the banner promotions and the Jumbotron. It also appears on the auxiliary scoreboards and presentations during halftime, timeouts, and various other breaks during the game. Advertisements during televised breaks, excuse me, a particular channel that has proven successful in the NBA for marketing. The NBA is watched in over 200 countries around the globe, so this level of exposure through commercials on television, it's just astronomical for the brands and the NBA as a whole. The fan engagement with these sponsorships. Each season, sponsors do engage with fans at games through several avenues, none more prevalent in recent seasons than their digital integration with fans through apps and various promotions online. They can be given the chance to scan codes or enroll in prize giveaways at Celtics events sponsored by various partners. In the 2016 NBA playoffs, for example, Arbella Insurance and Putnam Investments both hosted best fan promotion giveaways during playoff runs, which were prizes giving to fans over the appreciation nights and various other home games during that run. These various events companies are willing to host not only bring new element of entertainment to the games for fans, as they pay a premium price already, they, I'm sure, expect these extra little things of fan engagement, but it also procures interest over fans for sponsored brands. As alluded to before, jerseys are used with the logo for sponsorships as far as the 2024 and 2025 NBA season. The Boston Celtics had two brand logos primarily displayed on their home and away jerseys. The Nike logo, which is on almost every NBA jersey, is on the right side, and the Vistaprint decal is on the left side by the neckline. Both brands are critical to the jersey design. Nike provides the fabrics and the materials to create the jersey, and Vistaprint creates the graphical designs on the jerseys, which both bring together an amazing color combination, in my opinion. Community involvement, as Shane alluded to before, the Boston Celtics Shamrock Foundation is the main community involvement outlet for the Boston Celtics. Their efforts are primarily directed towards helping children in need along the Northeastern Peninsula. In 2024, the BCSF trained over 5,900 middle and high school students on bias prevention and anti-discrimination curriculum. Through another program within the BCSF, Pursuing Pathways, saw 96% of their students enrolled gained admission to a 2 or 4 year college, university, or equivalent college. Another program called Curbside Care, which is a mobile women's didactic care service, saw 97% of its attendees find work that same year that they applied, compared to the 77% of their attendees getting hospital work. And as far as the sponsorship's global reach and exposure is with their partnership with the Boston Celtics, they have a tremendous reach. Almost half of all Boston Celtics fans live internationally. 49.16%, matter of fact, live outside the United States. The highest population of Celtics fans living abroad are located in Angola, surprisingly enough, a South African nation that has 3.5% of its entire population being Boston Celtics fans. The value of these brands is bolstered in all 200 countries that the NBA touches and is watched by in the foreign markets, which would otherwise be impossible without their partnership with the Boston Celtics.
Now to get into the billion-dollar broadcast deals. This is for the local broadcast deals. NBC Sports Boston is the only local broadcaster that has the broadcasting rights for the Celtics. In 2011, a proposal deal was finalized to extend the Celtics media deal to 2038 from the current agreement that ran through 2017. NBC Sports Boston will televise the majority of the games and will highlight 70 games by live coverage, as well as season matchups, pregame, halftime, and postgame. For their national broadcast deals, the NBA signed a 11-year media agreement with Walt Disney Company, NBC Universal, and Amazon Prime Videos, making Celtics games available for anyone in the country who has those subscriptions. This will lead the Walt Disney Company, NBC Universal, and Amazon the rights to broadcast NBA games, but the Celtics does not have a specific national agreement. And the broadcast reach and viewership, local broadcasts drew a bigger audience than national programs in 16 markets. People tend to watch games that are drawing an audience usually during playoffs. A team's success can impact viewership and ratings by over or underperforming. If a team is doing good or doing great or neck and neck with another team, it'll draw fan attention, causing them to watch more. If a team is doing poorly, then it could leave a negative effect and draw the viewers to not watch anymore. Poor performance can also affect if the fans will watch the next game, which will lower views.
So as far as the digital broadcasting and streaming of the Boston Celtics go, they, as Michaela alluded to, they do not currently have an exclusive digital or streaming deal with any partner. But you can view their games by streaming off of the NBC Sports app, or if you don't have that and you're not tapped into the regional station NBC Sports Boston, that package is included in Fubo TV, YouTube TV, Hulu, and DirecTV streaming. So there are a multitude of avenues to watch. Having so many avenues to stream these broadcast games, It gives more access to people to tap in who might not be in a convenient spot to watch their game. They can watch it off their phone or at a friend's house who might have one of these streaming packages. The revenue from the streaming services is carried by NBC Sports, and that also increases with their deals. As the NBA is so widespread from its viewership, they're bound to draw in more business that way. As far as broadcast enhancements, as far back as the 2023 season, the NBA has incorporated a multitude of technological advancements over their game broadcasts. Some of these features include virtual and augmented reality viewing options for a 360-degree view of games, 4K ultra high definition viewing quality on all screens, player tracking technology, advanced analytics integration, and 5G connectivity for streaming games live from mobile devices. The impact yielded from these various enhancements have already shown results of higher fan engagement with the game, more data-driven insights to viewing a game, and global accessibility with the 5G streaming. In the future, broadcasting is to be enhanced with the use of holographic broadcasting and biometric data integration for more in-depth analysis of player and team situations. And regional broadcasting since 1981, the Boston Celtics regional cable television rights have been held by NBC Sports Boston. They are the only remaining franchise in the NBA and sports franchises in general to still have a regional broadcasting station and still be loyal to them. This long-standing deal with the NBA has impacted the reach and engagement of its fans, both in positive and negative ways. The consistency of having the games on NBC Sports Boston, that specific cable provider, gives convenience to fans viewing. You only have to buy one package to actually watch the games. This, however, limits the scope of TV viewers to only those with access to NBC Sports Boston or any package that comes with, which is usually pay-per-view.
So for advertisements and commercial partnerships, the Celtics have over 50 partners. Like Max said, some of these partners include Bona, The Floor Business, Bentley University, Amica, 98.5, Amtrak, and Xfinity. The way that they shout out these sponsors are through games and play-by-play announcements. You'll see their sponsorships on the big screen and during TV timeouts and intermissions. Mika Insurance is their main jersey sponsor. As we heard about, they had a contract with them for some time now, and will continue for the future. NBC Sports Boston is another broadcasting crew that are partners with the Celtics, and within their broadcast, they have moments in the game where they do Audi highlights of the game, which showcases their best plays throughout the night. Contracts and affiliation. For the NFL, they created a $100 million deal with companies such as Amazon, ESPN, CBS, Fox, and NBC, all stream on the national level, and each team's within the NFL split the amount of revenue they make from that given year. The MLB is heavily reliable on local TV, and the big time games, whether it be All-Star games or the World Series, that will be broadcasted on national television. The NHL recently just turned over from NBC to TNT, and created a contract that's worth over $225 million, and it's said to last 16 years. The NBC contract was 16 years, and this new deal will be 7. TNT will showcase and be broadcasting 3 of the next 7 Stanley Cup Series. NHL teams will rely heavily on local broadcasting for revenue. NBA kind of follows the same path as the NHL. Teams also broadcast their games on local stations in which larger market teams benefit more. Since the Celtics are one of the best teams in the league and are widely known around the world, the deal with NBC Sports Boston for their local broadcasting rights, and whatever money is made is then redistributed to the smaller market teams for a better competitive balance throughout the league. For international broadcasting, the NBA deals with broadcasting rights for international fans, depending on where you are. Certain countries have different networks. For China, they have Tencent. Europe has Sky Zone and DAZN, and Latin countries can watch on ESPN. The NBA also has NBA League Pass that allows global subscriptions. So wherever you are, you'll be able to watch a game. Since the NBA splits their money evenly, there's no real gain. However, the Celtics have a massive following, so they are helping the NBA as a whole increase their audience and generate more revenue. So for fan engagement and broadcasting, fans are more suitable today to use social media as their main source of content in the sports world. Broadcasters need to find a way to integrate social media by creating more player polls, Q&As, in-game highlights, the use of augmented reality, as well as player interviews. The National Broadcasting Service, TNT, which has the famous segment of Inside the NBA, where stars of the show, Shaq and Charles Barkley, go through funny tweets about them and players and teams around the league. As technology advances, more fans are resorting to the use of these features, and the Boston Celtics are one of the leading social media accounts that utilizes these features for the fans every day. And then here we have our references.
And that is it.